So in this video, we are going to learn how to create and send Razorpay payment link on Google Form submission and update Google Sheets. So let's say you are conducting a paid workshop online and you have created an online form using Google Forms so that the user who are interested in this workshop, they can register. Now you want that whenever you receive a new form submission in Google Forms, you want to basically generate a payment link using your Razorpay account and send that payment link to the same person who have made the form submission. Also, you want to add the payment link in your Google spreadsheet with the payment status so that you can set up some other automation to capture the payments and update the details. So let me tell you, you can completely automate this process. So using this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new form submission in Google Forms, automatically the form responses will be sent to Razorpay, and using Razorpay, we are not only going to generate a payment link, but from Razorpay itself, we are going to automatically send the payment link on email and SMS as well to the same person. And at last, we are going to update the same uniquely generated payment link for each and every user in the same Google Sheet in which we will be having the Google Form responses. Now, if you want to learn how you can set up this complete automation all by yourself, for that, you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, this is a workshop registration form which I have created using Google Forms for my advanced marketing automation workshop. Now I want that whenever I receive a new form submission, a new registration from this Google form, I want to basically take those details and send those details to Razorpay. And using Razorpay, I want to basically generate a payment link. After generating the payment link, from Razorpay itself, we are going to send the same payment link as an email and as a SMS to the user, the same customer who basically made the form submission on their entered email address and mobile number. And also, I want to store that payment link into the same Google Sheet in which we will be getting the Google Form responses. Now to do this, we have to connect this Google Form with our Razorpay account, and then we want to basically update the payment link back into the Google Sheet. And we are going to use Pabbly Connect to completely automate this process. Now to get started with Pabbly Connect, you will get a free sign-up link in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can set up your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. After creating the account and coming to this dashboard, we have to create an automation workflow over here. For that, just click on this Create Workflow button and give this workflow a name. Let's say I would like to name my workflow as Google Forms to Razorpay to Google Sheets. You can basically give any other name as per your choice. Then just select the folder of the Pabbly Connect account in which you want to set up this automation and click on Create. And as you click on Create, here you can see the workflow will open in front of us. In this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on. Where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's start with our trigger step. Now the idea here is, first we are going to connect the form which we have created using Google Forms with Pabbly Connect in the trigger step. So that whenever we are going to receive a new form submission, a new form response in Google Form, automatically the same form responses will be received inside Pabbly Connect and this automation workflow will trigger. It will start. Then after that, using this Pabbly Connect automation, we are going to send the same form responses to Razorpay, and using Razorpay, we are going to generate the payment link. After generating the payment link will be sent on email and SMS by Razorpay itself. But we want to update the same payment link into the Google Sheet from which we will be getting the Google Form responses. So let's see how it is done. Here in our workflow in trigger step, first we are going to search for Google Forms. Just select it. After selecting Google Forms, in trigger event from this drop-down, select the trigger event as new response received. After selecting this trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. And using this webhook URL, we are going to connect this Google Form with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, we are just going to follow the instructions given below over here. Just copy the webhook URL from here and go to the form which we have created using Google Forms. After coming to this form, here we will just go to the Responses tab and click on Link to Sheets. Then after clicking on Link to Sheet, here we have to select Create a new spreadsheet and click on Create. And as we click on Create, here you can see that the Google Sheet will open in front of us. This is the exact same Google Sheet in which the form responses of our Google Form will be stored. After coming to this Google Sheet, what we have to do, we'll go to Extensions, Add-ons and click on Get Add-ons. After clicking on Get Add-ons, here you can see we will reach to Google Workspace Marketplace. And here in Search app, we have to search for Pabbly Connect Webhooks. Now here you can see Pabbly Connect Webhooks. This add-on is already installed in my Google Sheets. You just have to install this same add-on into your own Google Sheets account, and after installing it, just refresh your Google Sheets once. This is a very important step. After refreshing our Google Sheet, once again we'll go to extensions, and this time you can see Pabbly Connect Webhooks. This add-on is added over here. Just hover on it and click on Initial Setup. And as you click on Initial Setup, this box will appear in front of us. Here it is asking us three different things. First one is selected sheet, second one is webhook URL, and third one is trigger column. So it is most likely possible that in your Google spreadsheet, you might be having multiple sheets. So the data of new row from which sheet we want to send to Pabbly Connect, we have to select that. Right now in this Google spreadsheet, we have only one sheet named as Form Response 1. That's where by default it has selected Form Response 1. Then it is asking us for the webhook URL. And as you can guess, here in the field of webhook URL, we have to enter the exact same webhook URL which Pabbly Connect gave us. Just copy this webhook URL from here and paste it over here. After pasting the webhook URL, it is asking us for the trigger column. Now you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So trigger column is basically the last data entry column of our Google Sheet in which any of our data exists. So here you can see column G is the last column in which our form responses will be stored. So we are going to select column G as the trigger column. Once again, we'll go to Initial Setup over here. Then after that, paste the exact same webhook and select column G as trigger column. Now let's click on Submit. And as we click on Submit, here you can see it is showing us that the setup is configured successfully. This means we have successfully added this webhook URL in the Google Sheet. Now once again, we'll go to Extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and we have to select this option of Send on Event. By selecting Send on Event, we are telling this Google Sheet, we are telling this add-on that whenever a new row of data is added, whenever we receive a new form submission and form responses are added as a new row, immediately, instantly send that data to Pabbly Connect. Now here in our Pabbly Connect workflow, you can see it is showing us waiting for webhook response. This means Pabbly Connect is waiting to capture some response from our Google form. So let's do it. I'll just go to the Google form over here. I'll go to publish over here. Let's publish this form. After publishing the form, we are going to get the link of this same form over here and paste this link in a new tab. And we are going to make a dummy form submission. Let's say the name of the person is demo user. This is the email address of the person who is making the form submission. Then this is a dummy mobile number which we are entering over here. Let's enter the mobile number as well. Then the preferred workshop date, the user is having an option to select a date over here. Let's say I'm selecting the date as 10th of February. Then it is asking us how did you hear about us, so I'm selecting social media. And in message, let's say I want to set up an expectation message as, for example, we are setting up this automation. So just a dummy message which I'm entering over here. After entering all the details in our Google form, let's click on Submit. And as we click on Submit, here you can see using Google Forms, just now we have received a new form submission. And in our Google spreadsheet as well, a new row of data is added. The form responses are added in our Google Sheets. And because we have connected this same Google Sheet with Pabbly Connect, we will see in our Pabbly Connect workflow in this trigger step, within few seconds, we have received the response. And in this response, you can see the details of the exact same form submission. Here you can see we have the same date for preferred workshop date. We have the same name, mobile number, same response that how the user has got to know about a workshop, same response of email address, and the same message as well. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed and we have successfully connected our Google form with our Pabbly Connect workflow. Now after this, let's move to step 2. And in step 2, I want to basically send the same form responses and generate a payment link with these details in Razorpay. For that, we will scroll down, come to this action step, and here in Choose App, we will search for Razorpay over here. After selecting Razorpay, in action event from the drop-down, select the action event as Create Payment Link. Then just click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here we have to connect our Razorpay account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, we have to enter the key ID and key secret of our Razorpay account. Now you must be thinking how you will get the key ID and key secret to make this connection. So to get it, just go to your Razorpay account. From the left sidebar, go to Account and Settings. And from here, we will just go to this API Keys section. After coming here, you will get the API key over here. Now, if you want to generate a new API key in secret, click on this regenerate test key button. Then it is going to ask us for the confirmation. So let me just enter the confirmation OTP over here. Okay, so after entering this OTP, let's click on confirm, and then it is asking us whether we want to deactivate the previous or the old API keys immediately or after 24 hours. So I want to deactivate the old API keys immediately, so I'm selecting it and click on confirm and deactivate. Then after that, here you can see the key ID and key secret are generated. We'll copy this key ID from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. Then after that, we'll copy this key secret and paste it over here as well. After pasting these details, just click on save. And once you click on save, here you can see our Razorpay account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making the connection, it is asking us for the amount, that for what amount we want to generate the payment link. And we have to basically enter the amount in the smallest currency unit. Means let's say the amount for my course is, for example, 999 rupees. But in smallest unit, we will have to enter this amount in paisa. So we have to add extra 2 zeros over here because it will be 99,900 paisa. For 999 rupees, it will be 99,900 paisa. So as it is shown in the example that for 10 rupees, you have to write 1000 as 1000 paisa it will be. Then it is asking us for the currency. So in currency, I want the payment link in INR, Indian rupees. So I'm entering the currency code INR over here. Then it is asking us for the type. So we want to generate a payment link. So in the drop down, we are selecting the type as link. Then here it is asking us for the description. So I want the description to be payment of. And then for whatever reason you are collecting the payment, you just have to enter the same reason over here. Let's say I want to enter the reason as payment of advanced marketing automation workshop registration. If you want, you can enter some other description as well. Then it is asking us for the name. Now we have received the name, email and contact number, these details from Google Forms in the trigger step. So what we have to do here from the Google Forms trigger step responses, we have to basically send these details and add them into this Razorpay action step. And to add the trigger step responses in this Razorpay action step, we are going to use a process called mapping. And the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field of name. And here in this drop down, you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Forms of a new form submission. Out of all of this, select the response of name and it will be mapped over here. Then it is asking us for the email, so just click here and use the same process of mapping. From the drop down, select and map the email address and also the contact number. After entering these details, it is asking us to view less or view more. So if you are having a longer description, if you are adding a longer description on our payment link, in that case, should we show a show more button or should we expand and show the complete description? So I want to show the complete description. So I'm selecting expand it over here. Then if you want, you can set up or generate a unique receipt ID as well for the payment links which you are generating. So right now, I don't want to generate the receipt ID myself. I want Razorpay to automatically generate the receipt IDs. So we are just going to keep this field as blank. Then it is asking us that whether they want to send the reminder or not. So yes, I want to send a reminder, so I'm selecting true. Now it comes one of the most important fields, and that is of expiry. So here we have to enter the date and time, that at what date and time this payment link will expire. And we have to basically enter this date and time in timestamp format. Now, every time we are going to generate a payment link, that payment link will need to have an expiry, and the minimum time is 30 minutes. More than 30 minutes, it should be the expiry time, or the timestamp which we are entering for expiry should be more than 30 minutes. 30 minutes after the generation. So what we are going to do, let's see, I want to set up a condition that whatever event date and time, whatever webinar or event date and time the user is selecting, like whatever workshop date and time the user is selecting over here, I want to expire this payment link 24 hours before the workshop date. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract 24 hours, 1 day from this workshop date and get this date and time into timestamp format. Now to do this, we have to use a feature, another module of Pabbly Connect called date time formatter. So before this Razorpay action step, click on this add action step button over here. And then here in choose app, search for date time formatter. After selecting date time formatter, in action event from this drop down, select the action event as add or subtract time. Then just click on connect. Then the first thing it asks us is enter date. Now here in enter date from the drop down, I'm going to select the workshop date over here and map it. Then in expression, because I want to subtract 24 hours over here, so I'm going to write 24 hours minus 24 hours. In to format from this drop down, because Razorpay is asking us the date and time in timestamp format, we are going to select this format of timestamp. And in from format, because we have this workshop date in the format of day, month and year, from this drop down, we are going to select this format of day, month and year. After this, let's click on save and send test request. So what we have done in our Google form, we were asking the users that what is the preferred workshop date for which they want to register. Whatever date they are selecting, 24 hours before that particular date and time, 24 hours before the workshop start, we are going to expire the payment link. So the users can make the payment and register for the workshop or confirm the registration for that workshop 24 hours before the workshop begins. So at the time of beginning of the workshop, we all know that how many participants are joining. So we have received this response in timestamp format as well, because we have selected to format is timestamp. Now let's map this timestamp over here in the Razorpay actions field. So here in expiry from the drop down from date time formatter, let's map this timestamp. Then it is asking us SMS notify and email notify. And in the drop down, we have two options. Either the Razorpay is going to send the SMS or we are going to send the payment link on SMS. So we want Razorpay to send the SMS and the emails as well. So we are selecting these options that the Razorpay sends the email and sends the SMS. Then it is asking us for the partial payment. So there is no option to make the partial payment. So I'm selecting customer cannot make the partial payment. Now, if you want to set up some other automation workflow, or if you want to send the data of the successful payment or failed payment to a webhook URL, to a callback URL, you can enter it over here. Right now, we are not setting up any secondary automation, so we are just going to ignore this field, these two fields over here. And then just click on save and send test request. Now, when we click on save and send test request, here you can see we are going to receive some response over here. And the response is received. And in this response, you can see we have basically all the details of the customer which we have entered. And also if we'll scroll down further, you can see we have this short URL. This is the payment link which we have generated. We'll just open this payment link in a new tab. And yes, here you can see that this is the payment link which will expire 24 hours before our workshop begins. That's on 9th of Feb. The workshop date which we have selected while making the form submission was 10th of February over here. Also, the amount is 999 over here. We have basically entered the same amount in unit, smallest unit. Also, we have the same description of the payment and the payment link. So in this way, what we have done using Razorpay, we have generated the payment link with the details which we have received on our Google form submission. Now after this, what we want to do, in the same Google Sheet in which we are storing the Google form responses, I want to add two columns. The first column is of payment link over here, and second column is of payment status. So these two columns are added. Now what I want to do, the payment link which we have received from Razorpay, I want to update the same payment link in the same Google Sheet in front of that user's Google form responses in the same row. And also I want to set up the status of the new payments which we are adding, new payment link which we are adding as pending. So I want the status of all the payment links which we are adding right now as pending because the customer has not made the payment. You can set up another automation workflow later on to update the payment status as you receive a new payment on Razorpay. So what we have done, we have basically added these two columns and we have to basically update the payment link and payment status in these two columns over here. For that, we will scroll down, click on this add action step button over here, and then here in choose app, we will search for Google Sheets. Just select it. After selecting Google Sheets, in action event from the drop down, select the action event as update row. Then just click on connect and select add new connection. Now once again, we have to connect this Google spreadsheet with Pabbly Connect, and this time in the action step. So to make this connection, click on this sign in with Google button, select your Google Sheets account. After selecting the account, just scroll down and click on continue. And as you click on continue, we will see our Google Sheets account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making the connection, the first thing it asks us is to select the spreadsheet, that in which spreadsheet we want to update the data, add the payment link. So the name of our spreadsheet is Workshop Registration Responses. So from this drop down, here you can see a list of all the responses, all the sheets which we have in our Google Sheet account. Out of all of these sheets, we are going to select the spreadsheet over here. After selecting the spreadsheet, it is most likely possible that in our Google spreadsheet, we might have created multiple sheets over here. So you will get a list of all the sheets which you have created in the second dropdown. Right now we have only one sheet named as form response ones, as we have seen in the trigger step. So we are going to select it. Then it is asking us for the row index, that in which particular row we want to update this data. So in the trigger step where we have received the form responses from Google Forms, we have received the response of row index as well. So here from the trigger step responses, we are going to map the same row index in this Google Sheets action step, so that we are going to update the payment link into the same row of form submission. So in whatever row we will be having the form responses of that user, the payment link which we have generated using the form responses will be added in the same row in column H and column I. So here in row index from the drop down, let's select and map the row index from trigger step responses. Then all the columns of data which we have created, all the columns of data which we had in this Google Sheet, you can see all of these columns as fields inside Pabbly Connect. But we don't want to update the details in rest of the columns. We only want to update the payment link and payment status column. So here in the field of payment link, we'll map the response of payment link which we have received from Razorpay. So from the drop down from Razorpay responses, we'll search for the response of payment link and map it. And we want to keep the status of all the payments as pending over here. So I'm writing pending over here. After mapping these two details into these two fields and keeping rest of the field as blank, let's click on save and send test request. And as I click on save and send test request, here you can see we have received the response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that in this row, the same row index which we have entered over here, basically the same row from which we have received the Google Form responses in the trigger step, we have basically generated the payment link and added the payment link into the next two columns. So let's check it. We will just check our Google spreadsheet, and yes, here in our Google Sheet you can see this link, this payment link which we have generated using Razorpay is added over here. This means the automation workflow which we have created using Pabbly Connect, this automation is successfully created. And using this automation, as we are going to receive a new form submission in Google Form, automatically we are going to generate the payment link. The payment link will be sent on email and SMS to the same person who made the form submission. And also we'll see the payment link will be updated in our Google spreadsheet as well. So after setting up this automation, we are going to test this automation workflow once. Once again, I'll come to the same form, and this time we are going to enter the details of another user. Let's say the name of the person is test user. This is the email address. Then this is the dummy mobile number on which we are going to send the payment link as SMS. The preferred workshop date is 17th of February I'm selecting. Then I heard using email, and let's say the expectation is, for example, we are testing this automation. This is the message which I'm entering over here. Let's click on submit. So just now a new form submission is received on our Google form, and here in our Google spreadsheet you can see a new row of data is added, and also you can see automatically within seconds as we add a new row of data, the payment link is generated and added in the same Google spreadsheet. If you click on this payment link, you can see this is the payment link which is generated for the same person. And the expiry date of payment link is 16th of February. We have selected the workshop date as 17th over here. So 24 hours before the workshop begins, on 16th of February, this payment link will expire, and it is for the same amount. Now, if you want, you can enter the details of the customer of the user for which you are generating the payment link in the description section as well. So you can basically map the form responses over here in the field of description and enter the details, make this payment link personalized as well. And also you will see on my email, the same payment link will be sent as well. So we will be sending, the Razorpay will be sending an email to the same customer for whom we have generated the payment link over here. So if we come here, you can see on the same email address which we have entered while making the form submission, the payment link is sent as email to by Razorpay. This means we have tested this automation in real time and it is working perfectly fine. It's not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of this exact same automation workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can just clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and start using this automation for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can just do it for absolutely free.
So if this video was helpful to you, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with others, or if you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can always write us in the comment box below or email us at support@pabbly.com. Also, you can post your queries on our forum as well. And if you want to check the pricing of Pabbly Connect, you can visit this link. So this is it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.